Good morning, everyone. Well, just a little reflection on colors, liturgical colors. And you would have seen on the opening page for today that I've combined green moving into purple, because that's where we are. We're in that time when we've had the Feast of Christ the King, and we're moving towards, in the last week of the liturgical calendar, we're moving towards Advent, which is the beginning of the new liturgical year. And then we change to purple. So our green days are just a few days ahead of us, and then we move into purple as we get into next weekend. That's the reason why I've got a little purple thing up there, just to help us to remember these things. We're not there yet, another week to go. Today, it's the memorial of Saint Andrew Dung Loc and companions. They were Vietnamese martyrs and lived between the times that they lived in, between the 17th and the 19th century. Obviously, they didn't live over the whole time. There was much persecution that went on in Vietnam towards all Christians at that time. And over 130,000 Christians were killed for their faith. And that's why it's not just Andrew Dung Loc that we remember, but the reason why he's singled out is because he was a Vietnamese priest. But what we do find is those priests, those other people, just ordinary common people, and children and everybody, who were basically wiped out because of their belief. Ironically, we now find ourselves in a society in Vietnam where about 10% of the population are Christians. So you can try, but you won't hold them down forever. Our readings this week deal a lot with destruction and that kind of thing, but let's just put them in perspective and see why we're looking at that. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 10 today, verse 28 says, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul." Now, interestingly, our readings for today gives a lot of options in terms of the gospel. And one of the other options is Luke's Gospel, chapter 9, where Jesus says, "What gain then is it for a man to have won the whole world and to have lost or ruined his very self?" So both of those readings are saying the life that we live at the moment is temporal. We're only going to go this for a short period of time. Well, you might say some of us are sitting in our later years and sort of saying, well, it's not rushing past. Although if we reflect back, perhaps it has. But in terms of eternity, this life is brief. And so we need to listen to what the Lord says. Don't sacrifice our eternal salvation just for a few years in this world. And let's reflect on that in this last week as we go towards, in preparing towards Advent. You have an amazing day. Keep yourself safe. God bless. Bye-bye.